Namaste and welcome back to the online mathematics class. Last class we have discussed the definition of sets and the representation of sets. And in this session we are going to discuss the types of sets. There are different types of sets. First one is empty set or null set or void set. Okay, we all know set is a well defined collection of objects. Here the name of the set is empty set or null set or void set. So empty set means a set which does not contains any elements. A set which does not contain any elements is called the empty set, otherwise it is known as null set or another name is void set. Okay, for example, the set of natural numbers between 2 and 3. So we all know there is no natural numbers in between 2 and 3. So we can say it is an example of empty set or null set. And we can say one more example, odd natural numbers divisible by 2. Odd natural numbers divisible by 2. Okay, the numbers divisible by 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. These all are even numbers. Okay, that means there is no natural number which is divisible by 2. So it will be an example of empty set. Okay, the empty set is denoted by the symbol phi. So this symbol we read it as phi, phi. Okay, and another notation is we have to write the set bracket with no elements, opening brace and closing brace. Okay, so these are the two different notations used to denote what? Empty set or null set. I repeat, a set which does not contain any element is called null set or empty set or void set, and it is denoted by the symbol phi or the set bracket with no elements. Okay, next one is finite sets and infinite sets. First we can discuss finite set. Finite set means a set which contains definite number of elements. Definite number of elements, or a set which is empty. A set which is empty or contains a definite number of elements. Definite number of elements means countable number of elements. Okay, so a set which is empty or contains definite number of elements is called a finite set, otherwise it is called a infinite set. That means a set which contains uncountable number of elements. Okay, indefinite number of elements, that set is called a infinite set. Clear? For example of finite set is set A is equal to set of all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, set of all prime numbers less than 10, 2, 3, 5 and 7. Okay, so these are the examples of finite sets because there are countable number of elements, definite number of elements. An example of an infinite set is set of all natural numbers, n is equal to set 1, 2, 3, 4 etc. Okay, we can say another example, set B is equal to set of all even natural numbers 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. Okay, set of all odd natural numbers 1, 3, 5, 7 etc. Okay, so these are some examples of what? Infinite sets. So there are finite sets and infinite sets. Finite set means a set which is empty or contains a definite number of elements is called what? Finite set, otherwise it is called infinite set. Okay, that means a set which is not finite is called infinite set, or we can say a set which contains indefinite number of elements, uncountable number of elements, that types of sets are called infinite set. Clear? Now the next one is singleton set. Singleton set. Singleton set means a set which contains only one element. A set which consists of only one element is called what? Singleton set. For example, set of all even prime numbers. Set of all even prime numbers. We all know if we list out the numbers, we get the number 2 only, because 2 is the only one even prime number. Okay, and one more example, natural number between 2 and 4. Okay, if we list out the collection, we will get the number 3 only. The natural number which lying between 2 and 4 is the number 3 only. Okay, so a set which contains or consists of only one element is called what? Singleton set. Clear? And the next one is cardinal number of a finite set. Cardinal number, it is also known as cardinality. Cardinal number means the number of elements present in a set is known as cardinal number or the cardinality of the particular set. For example, let A is equal to set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here the cardinality of a set is denoted by n of A. If the set is A, then we can write the cardinality as n within bracket A. We read it as n of A. N of A means the number of elements present in the set A. Clear? So that will be equal to 5 because the set contains 5 elements. Clear? And if we take another one set as B is equal to some A, B, C, and here the cardinality or the number of elements in B equal to 3. Okay, so the cardinal number means the number of elements present in a set is called the cardinal number of a set. Okay, if the set is empty set, that means 5, then the cardinality n of 5 will be equal to 0 since the set contains no elements. Here there is no elements in an empty set, so we can write n of 5 is equal to 0. The cardinality of an empty set is always 0. Clear? And for infinite set, the cardinality is not defined. So the cardinality of an infinite set is not defined. So you have to remember these 2 points. The cardinality of an empty set is 0 and that of an infinite set is not defined. Okay. And now we move on to the next topic, equal sets. 2 sets, namely A and B are said to be equal if they have the same elements. If they have the same elements. And we write A equal to B. If A and B are equal sets, then we can write A is equal to B. When we can say that A and B are equal? If A and B contains or consists of the same element, exactly the same elements. For example, if A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and B is equal to set 3, 4, 2, 1, while comparing, we can identify that these 2 sets contains exactly the same element. Here only the order is different. Okay, while writing set, order doesn't matter, order is not important. So set 1, 2, 3, 4 is equal to what? Set 3, 4, 2, 1. Okay, because all the elements of set A and B are equal. So we can write A is equal to B. Okay. Otherwise the sets are called unequal sets. Unequal set, and we write A not equal to B. Okay. I repeat, two sets A and B are said to be equal if they have exactly the same elements, and we write A is equal to B. Otherwise the sets are said to be unequal, and we write A is not equal to B. Understood? Shall we discuss exercise 1.2? Okay. Here the first question is, which of the following are examples of the null set? We know null set means a set which does not contains any element is called null set. Here set of odd natural numbers divisible by 2. We know the odd natural numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. And clearly these numbers are not divisible by 2. So the set contains no elements. So we can conclude it is a null set. Okay. The next one is set of even prime numbers. Set of even prime numbers. We know there is only one even prime number, namely 2. 2 is the only one even prime number. That means the set contains minimum one element. So it cannot be an example of a null set. It is not a null set. Okay. And the third one is set of all x such that x is a natural numbers, x less than 5 and x greater than 7. X is less than 5 and greater than 7. So it is not possible. There is no number which is simultaneously satisfies the condition which is less than 5 and greater than 7. So the set contains no elements, and clearly it will be an example of a null set. Okay. Fourth sub question is set of all y such that y is point common to any two parallel lines. We know parallel lines have no common points. The never intersecting lines are called what? Parallel lines. So the parallel lines have no common points. So it is also an example of a null set. So here first one is a null set, second one is not a null set, third and fourth are examples of null set. Okay, clear? Now we move on to the second question. Which of the following sets are finite or infinite? So by finite set we mean if a set is empty or contain a finite number of elements, definite number of elements or countable number of elements, then it is called finite set. So here the first one is the set of months of a year. There are 12 months in a year, hence this is a finite set. And the second one is set of all 1, 2, 3, etc. 1, 2, 3 and so on. That means the collection of natural numbers. It is not finite. It is not countable. So we can say this is an infinite set. So set 1, 2, 3, etc. is an infinite set. And the third one is set 1, 2, 3, etc. 99, 100. That means there are 100 natural numbers less than 101. So it is a countable set. The set contains definite number of elements, hence this is a finite set. And the fourth one is the set of positive integers greater than 100. The set of positive integers greater than 100. It is not finite, hence this is an infinite set. And the fifth one is the set of prime numbers less than 99. The set of prime numbers less than 99 and it is finite, hence this is a finite set. Okay. Now we move on to the third question. State whether each of the following set is finite or infinite. Some sub questions are given. We have to state whether it is finite or infinite. First one, the set of lines which are parallel to x-axis. We know we can draw infinite number of lines that is parallel to x-axis. So it is an infinite set. And the next one is the set of letters in English alphabet. As we know, there are 26 letters in English alphabet, hence this is a finite set. And the third one is the set of numbers which are multiple of 5. The multiples of 5 are not finite, it is not countable, hence this is an infinite set. Okay. And the fourth one is the set of animals living on the earth. There are only finite number of animals living on the earth, even though the process of counting them is difficult. Hence, this is a finite set. And the last one is the set of circles passing through the origin 0, 0. Infinite number of circles can be drawn through the origin. We can draw infinite number of circles that passes through the origin 0, 0. Hence, this is an infinite set. Okay. Now we move on to question number 4. In the following, state A equal to B or not. Here some sub questions are given. We have to state whether A equal to B or not. Okay. First one is A is equal to ABCD, B is equal to DCAB. So here ABCD, here also ABCD. That means the two sets contains exactly the same elements, so we can write A is equal to B. Okay. Then second one, A is equal to 4, 8, 12, 16 and B is equal to 8, 4, 16, 18. So here the first set A contains the element 12, but the set B doesn't contains the number 12. Similarly, the second set contains the number 18. Here the first set doesn't contains the number 18. So the two sets are unequal. So the second one, A is not equal to B. And the third one, A is equal to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and B is equal to, B is given in set builder form, X is a positive even integer and X less than or is equal to 10. X is a positive even integer. Okay. And X is less than or equal to 10. So it is same as set A. A is equal to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 means the even integers which are less than or is equal to 10. Okay, even integers up to 10. Clear? So we can conclude for the third one, A is equal to B. And the fourth one is set of all X such that X is a multiple of 10. A is a set which contains the multiple of 10 and B is equal to the set of all 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Here 15, 25. Okay, these are not multiples of 10. So they are unequal. So on the fourth one, A is not equal to B. Okay. Now the next question is, are the following pair of sets equal? Give reasons. First sub question, A is equal to set 2, 3 and B is equal to set of all X such that X is a solution of X square plus 5X plus 6 is equal to 0. Okay. So the second part is given in set builder form. We can solve the equation and find the values of X. Okay. So here X square plus 5X plus 6. This can be written as X plus 2 into X plus 3 is equal to 0. On factorizing we get X plus 2 into X plus 3 is equal to 0 and X plus 2 is equal to 0 or X plus 3 is equal to 0, which implies X equal to minus 2 or X equal to minus 3. That means the set B is equal to minus 2 comma minus 3. Now we can compare these two sets. A is equal to 2 comma 3 and B is equal to minus 2 comma minus 3. Clearly we can say A is not equal to B. So here A is not equal to B. Now the second sub question is, A is equal to set of all X such that X is a letter in the word follow. So we can convert it into roster form. A is equal to set F comma O, comma L, comma W. While describing a set, the repetition of the elements is not allowed. So we cannot write L and O twice. Okay. And B is equal to set of all Y such that Y is a letter in the word wolf. So here the letters are W, O, L and F. Now we can compare these two sets. Here the letters are F, O, L, W. Here also F, O, L and W. That means the two sets are exactly the same. Therefore A is equal to B. Understood? Now we move on to the last question in this exercise. From the sets given below, select equal sets. A is equal to set 2, 4, 8, 12. B equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. C equal to 4, 8, 12, 14. D equal to 3, 1, 4, 2. E equal to minus 1, 1. F equal to 0, A. G equal to 1 minus 1 and H is equal to 0, 1. We have to select the equal sets. So I can compare each and every set. First A is 2, 4, 8, 12. Is there any set which contain exactly these four elements 2, 4, 8, 12? No, there is no set with 2, 4, 8, 12. Okay. So we can leave it. Then come to set B 1, 2, 3, 4 and we have to check whether there is any set contains these four numbers, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Here the set D contains 3, 1, 4, 2. 3, 1, 4, 2 means 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So B and D contains exactly the same elements. So we can write set B equal to set D. Clear? Now take the set C 4, 8, 12, 14. But there is no set which contains that numbers 4, 8, 12 and 14. So leave it. Then come to E. E is equal to set minus 1, 1. And there is another set G which contains 1 minus 1. Minus 1, 1. 1 minus 1. Both are equal. So we can write E is equal to G, since E and G contains exactly the same elements. Now we can consider F 0, A. But there is no other set which contains the elements 0, A. Then one more set is there, H is equal to 0, 1 and there is no set with 0, 1. Okay. So the answer is B is equal to D and E is equal to G. Clear? So this finishes exercise 1.2. Now we move on to the topic subsets. Okay. A set A is said to be a subset of set B if every element of A is an element of B. Every element of A is an element of B. Then we can say A is a subset of B. Okay. If a set A is a subset of a set B, then every element of A is an element of B. For example, consider a set A is equal to set of all 1, 2, 3 and B is equal to set of all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here we can say A is a subset of B because every element of A is an element of set B. Here the elements of first set are 1, 2 and 3 and clearly the elements 1, 2, 3 contained in the set B. Okay. And the symbol used for subset is, the symbol is this one. Okay, this symbol is used to denote is a subset of, is a subset of, or we can say is contained in, contained in. Okay, so this is a symbol used to denote subset of. Okay, And there is another one symbol which means implies. Okay, using symbols we can write the definition of subsets as follows. A is a subset of B if A belongs to A, small a belongs to capital A, implies A belongs to B. So we can read the statement as A is a subset of B if A is an element of A implies that A is an element of B. Okay, that means if we randomly pick an element from A, let it be 2, and we have to check whether the element belongs to the set B. Here the number 2 belongs to B. Okay, so we can say A is a subset of B. Okay, I repeat, A is a subset of B means every element of A is an element of B. Clear? And if A is not a subset of B, we write A not a subset of B. Okay, A is not a subset of B. And another one important thing is, if A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A, if and only if A is equal to B. So this is a symbol used to denote if and only if. Two-way implication. Okay, implies and implied by, that is known as if and only if. In short, we can write IFF. If and only if. Okay, so A is a subset of B, that means every element of A is an element of B. At the same time, every element of B is an element of A. Then in that situation, A must be equal to B. Okay, so A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A if and only if A is equal to B. Clear? Now we shall discuss some important concepts. First one is, every set A is a subset of itself. Every set A is a subset of it. Since it's, that is, A is a subset of A. And the next point is, phi is a subset of every set. Phi means the empty set or the null set. Phi is a subset of every set. And the third one is, let A and B be two sets with A is a subset of B and A not equal to B, then A is called a proper subset of B and B is called the superset of A. Okay, I repeat. First one is, every set A is a subset of itself. Every set is a subset of itself, that is, A is a subset of A. Okay, then the empty set is a subset of every set, or phi is a subset of every set. And the third one is, let A and B be two sets with A is a subset of B and A not equal to B, then A is called a proper subset of B and B is called the superset of A. I repeat, A and B are two sets with A subset of B and A not equal to B, then A is called a proper subset of B and B is called the superset of A. Okay, that means if you write in symbolic form A is a subset of B, here A is the proper subset and B is called the superset. Clear? Now we shall discuss the subsets of set of real numbers. There are many important subsets of R, namely the set of all natural numbers. Natural numbers. That is n is equal to, capital N is equal to set 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay. And the set of integers. Integers are denoted by the letter Z. Z is equal to set etc. minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Then rational numbers. Rational numbers. Rational numbers are denoted by the letter Q. Q is equal to set of all such that x is equal to p by q, comma p comma q belongs to z. That means p comma q are integers with q not equal to 0. All of you are familiar with the definition of rational numbers. Rational number means the numbers which can be written in the form p by q, q not equal to 0, where p and q are integers. Okay, that we write it in set builder form as x such that x is equal to p by q, p comma q are integers and q not equal to 0. Okay. Then another one is irrational numbers. Irrational numbers. And here it is denoted by the letter capital T. T is equal to set of all x such that x belongs to R but x doesn't belongs to Q. Okay, that means the numbers which are not rational are called irrational numbers. Okay, the real numbers we can divide mainly into two, rational and irrational. That I write here, x belongs to R. X belongs to R means x is the set of all real numbers but x doesn't belongs to Q. Okay, the real numbers that are not rational are called what? Irrational numbers. Clear? Real numbers are normally denoted by the letter capital R. Now we can write these sets in subset notation. Here n is the smallest set. So n subset of Z, which is a subset of Q and which is a subset of R. Okay, natural number contained in Z. Z is contained in Q and Q is contained in R, the set of all real numbers. And the next one is T. T is a subset of R. Q is a subset of R. Like that we can write T is a subset of R. That means the irrational number is a subset of the set of real numbers. We can also write the natural number n is not a subset of T. T is the set of all irrational numbers. So we can use this notation, n is not a subset of T and Z is not a subset of T. Q is not a subset of T. Okay, n natural number, Z integers, Q rational numbers. These are not subset of T because they are independent. Q is the set of all rationals and T is the set of all irrational numbers. Okay. Now we move on to the next topic, intervals as a subset of R. Intervals as subsets of R. Let us consider two numbers. Let A and B be two real numbers such that A is less than B. Such that A is less than B. Then the set of real numbers, set of all x such that A less than x less than B is an open interval and denoted by open interval AB. You can use this bracket, common bracket, parenthesis, and inside the bracket you have to write A comma B. We read this as open interval AB. Okay, open interval AB. Here the condition is x such that a less than x less than b. That means the endpoints a comma b are not included in this collection. The endpoints are not included. Okay. The intervals which contains the endpoints also is called closed interval. The intervals which contains the endpoints also is called closed interval and is denoted by, within square bracket you have to write a comma b and we read it as closed interval AB. So in set builder form we can write closed interval AB equal to set of all x such that a less than or equal to x less than or equal to b. Okay, equality means a and b are included in this collection. Okay, so the interval which contains the endpoints also is known as closed interval. Clear? So the open interval you can write open interval AB equal to set of all x such that a less than x less than b. Now there are two more intervals, closed a b open, which is equal to set of all x such that a less than or equal to x less than b. That means a is included but b is excluded. Okay, closed part we have to write less than or equal to, and open part we have to write the symbol less than. Clear? And the last one is open a b closed, which is equal to set of all x such that a less than x less than or equal to b. That means here open a, that means a is excluded, b closed, b is included. Okay, these are the four different types of intervals. First one is open interval AB. Open interval AB is set of all x such that a less than x less than b, and closed interval AB is set of all x such that a less than or equal to x less than or equal to b, and closed a b open x such that a less than or equal to x less than b, and open a b closed x such that a less than x less than or is equal to b. Clear? And we can also represent these intervals in number line. So here a b closed interval AB. So we have to include both the extreme points, so that we have to darken the bubbles, and the values or the set of real numbers in between a and b are also included. So this darkened area denote closed interval AB. Okay, that means the numbers lying between a and b and including the extreme values a and b, a less than or equal to x less than or equal to b. Okay, and for open interval AB we can take the values a and b, and here a less than x less than b, so we have to darken the area in between a and b. Okay, that is excluding the extreme points. So it means a and b are not included in this collection. Open interval AB means excluding the extreme values. Okay, then another one is closed a b open. So this we can represent as, here a we can darken because a is included and b is excluded, so just put a circle. Then in between the values all are included, so we can darken the part. So this is closed a b open. Okay, and the last one is open interval a b closed. So So take the point A, then another point B. B is included, so we can darken, and A is excluded, so just put a circle. Then we can darken the portion in between A and B. So it means A is excluded, B is included, and all the real numbers in between A and B are included. Okay, so these are the representation of intervals on number line. Okay, now we shall discuss some frequently used intervals. One is open interval 0, infinity. Open interval 0 infinity means the set of positive real numbers. Set of positive real numbers. And another one is closed 0 infinity open. That means the interval which includes 0 and the numbers which are more than 0. That means the set of non-negative real numbers. Non-negative real numbers. And the next one is open interval minus infinity, 0. That means the set of negative real numbers. And another one is minus infinity, infinity. It denotes the set of real numbers. The set of all real numbers. Okay, so open interval 0 infinity means the set of positive real numbers, and closed interval 0 infinity open means the set of non-negative real numbers, and open interval minus infinity 0 means the set of negative real numbers, and open interval minus infinity, infinity means the set of real numbers. Okay, and one more thing you have to remember is intervals are subsets of R which contains infinitely many points. I repeat, intervals are subsets of R. R means the set of all real numbers which contains infinitely many points. The number b minus a is the length of any of the interval closed interval AB, open interval AB, then closed A B open, or open A B closed. Okay, the number b minus a, the number b minus a is called the length of any of the interval closed interval AB, open interval AB, closed A B open, open A B closed. Clear? Next we shall discuss how to write subset of a given set. Okay, let us consider an example. A is equal to set 1, 2, and we are asked to write the subset of this set A. If A is a subset of B, then every element of A is an element of B. Okay, and we already know every set is a subset of itself. Okay, and phi is a subset of every set. Every set is a subset of itself, and phi is a subset of every set. So here we can write the subsets. Subsets are namely 1, 2, that means the same set, and the null set phi. Okay, every set is a subset of itself. Phi is a subset of every set. So first of all we can write these two subsets. Then we can write the set 1. We can check, here it is a subset. Why? Here the elements of this set is 1, and which is contained in the set A. So we can say set 1 is a subset of set 1, 2. And we can also write the number 2, set 2. Okay, here also the number 2 is contained in the given set A. So we can say set 2 is also a subset of the given set. Clear? So totally we write 4 subsets. Okay, Then consider another one example. A is equal to set 1, 2, 3. Here the subsets are, one is the same set 1, 2, 3. Then the null set 5. Then 1, set 2, set 3. Okay. Now we can consider the sets with 2 elements. 1, 2, set 1, 2, set 2, 3 and set 1, 3. Okay. So these are the subset of the set A is equal to 1, 2, 3. Clear? And another one important thing is power set. Power set. The collection of all the subset of a set A is known as power set of A, and it is denoted by P of A. P of capital A. And one more important thing is, in power set each element is a set, because we take the collection of all subsets. Okay. For example, in the first case we can write P of A is equal to set of all set 1, 2, 5, then set 1 and set 2. Okay, we can close the bracket. So in this collection all the elements are sets. So I repeat, the collection of all subset of a given set A is known as power set of A, and it is denoted by P of A, and in P of A each element is a set. Clear? Some important points in this session are: phi belongs to P of A. Phi means null set. We know MD set is a subset of every set. Phi is a subset of every set, and the collection of all subset is called what? P of A, power set of A. So phi belongs to P of A, and another one is A belongs to P of A. A means the same set. Every set is a subset of itself. So A belongs to P of A. And one more thing is about the number of elements in P of A. N of P of A. N of P of A means the number of elements in P of A. We can take the first example. Here the set A contains 2 elements. N of A is equal to 2. Only 2 elements. And the number of subsets, here the number of subsets are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, number of subsets is equal to 4. And in the second example, N of A, the number of elements in A is equal to 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, and the number of subsets are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, number of subsets is equal to 8. So here we can connect these two numbers. This 4 is equal to 2 square. Okay. Here 3 and 8, we can write 8 is equal to 2 cube. Okay. So if a set contains n elements, then the number of elements in P of A is equal to 2 raised to n. It is one of the important formula in this chapter. N of P of A is equal to 2 raised to n, where n is the number of elements or the cardinality of the set. Understood? And there is one more important set is known as universal set. Okay, universal set. When we consider 2 or more sets for discussion, we have to take a convenient set as their superset that contains all the sets under consideration. That superset is known as the universal set, and it is denoted by U. For example, if A is equal to 1, 3, 5, 7, etc., and B is equal to 2, 4, 6, 8, etc., C is equal to some 3, 6, 9, etc., and D is equal to 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, etc. Okay. And here I take the universal set U as U is equal to set of all natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Okay, so here A, B, C, D. First set A is the set of all odd natural numbers, and the second one B is 2, 4, 6, 8, even numbers, and the third one C is 3, 6, 9, etc. That means the multiples of 3. And the last one D is 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, etc. And these are the collection of prime numbers. Okay, so in this discussion we can take U is equal to the set of all natural numbers since it contains all the sets. Okay, namely the set of all odd numbers, set of all even numbers, set of all multiples of 3 and set of all prime numbers. These all the sets A, B, C and D which contained in the set U is equal to the set of all natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. Okay, and two more important points you have to remember is phi is a subset of U. Phi means the null set, it is a subset of U, and for the intervals the universal set U is the set of all real numbers. Okay, phi is a subset of U, and for the intervals we can take U as the set of all real numbers. That means R, the set of all real numbers. Clear? So that's all for today. We shall discuss exercise 1.3 in the next class. Thanks for watching. Thank you.